to us on your phone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of indeterminate length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Thursday, 30th day of June, 2016. I think that puts us exactly halfway through the year. It does. Ring a ding. Okay, let's have a look at the numbers. Let's just see what the world's up to. Y'all ready for this? All right, we're going to start with the cash markets. I'm going to start here in the good old US of A. Not that any other place isn't good or old, but this is where we're going to start. The Dow is up 134 points. The NASDAQ is up 30. The S&P is up 13. The Russell 2000 is up 7. In our commodity basket, color is a little bit different. Crude oil is down $1.16. That's a little over 2%. And gold is down $5.30. Moving to Asia, the Nikkei is up 9 points. Shanghai is down 2 points. And wow, the Hang Seng, the $100 billion baby, is actually up 358 points on this Thursday. That is 1 3/4%. Last but not least, they may have Brexit, but they didn't broke it. The DAX up 67 points, FTSE up 144 points, CAC up 42. Now, the CAC up 42 doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually 1%. Go figure. The FTSE up 144, that's over 2%. And the DAX up 67, well, that's closing in on 1%. So we've got some green, we've got some more green with a touch of red, and then green, 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 followed by commodities which are kind of biting the dust today. So those are the numbers. Now, welcome to the show. If you are brand new, you might only hear the sound of my voice. And if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, that's probably a good idea. However, if you would like to see the charts that go along with the show, simply go to the right-hand side of our homepage at cfrn.net. Click the big microphone, follow the instructions, and within about 30 seconds, you'll be registered all the way through the end of today. Now, tomorrow, first of the month, you got to do the whole thing again. But the good news is, if you do it tomorrow, you'll be trading 30 seconds for 30 days. You see, whereas with the live trading room, for security reasons, we have to change the password and the link on a weekly basis. But the radio show, that only has to change once a month. So get yourself registered today so you can see the charts and have access to the chat box, and then turn right around, do it again tomorrow, okay, on the first day of July. You won't have to worry about it again until the first day of August. What'll happen is you'll get an email 1 hour before the radio show starts, and it says, reminder, radio show starts in 1 hour. When you're ready to join the show, click here. Guess what you have to do? Click there. That's it. One-click access. So that's pretty slick, done just for you. And so we are happy to have you as a part of the audience, whether you're returning for the 1000th time. By the way, we are in our second decade of production. So whether you're returning for the 1000th time or you're here today for the very first time, we are excited that you have chosen to take time out of your day to spend with us. Now, via that little chat box, any question that you have, no matter what it's about, whether it's the markets, whether it's strategy, whether it's indicators, if we say something you don't understand, if there's something you've always wondered about the markets but could never quite get a straight answer to, you've come to the right place. Because if we don't know the answer, by golly, we'll Google it. That's a true story. So, with all that said, I'm going to pass the microphone and the screens over to Michael. He will give you a recap of everything that happened today in the live trading room. When he is finished, I'll be back with our good word for the day and also a recap of the Concierge Trade Alerts that were sent out last night to the subscribers. So, all along the way, we would love to answer your questions. Simply type them into the chat box. No one can see what you type except Michael and I, so don't be shy. Whatever's on your mind, type it into the chat box. We will protect your anonymity and we will get you a good answer. So Michael, with that said, take it away.
Okay, I will grab everything and bring it all the way over here to the other side of the country. Look at that. Amazing technology. Alright. You guys should be looking at my spreadsheet. I believe you are. Okay?
Yes, all
So,
systems are go.
Good. I will just hit the record button and we'll start cranking out the recap. Alright, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is, oh, okay, I did write it down. Okay, today is Thursday, the 30th day of June, 2016. It's the last day of June, 2016. Today, in the live trading room, we made 16 ticks profit on soybeans. We lost 13 ticks on the euro. We made 2 ticks on the YM, and we lost 8 on gold. Today it took us 62 minutes. Let me write this down. 62 minutes and 2 trades to get to $100 a contract. And we took a total of 9 trades today. Now the day was all messed up because Carney, I guess, Governor Carney was speaking from the Bank of England, and the markets are just all jammed up until he spoke. And I haven't really looked at them since. Well, I did look at soybeans because the grain report just came out. But other than that, anyway, on the month we're up $5,385. That's over 22 trading days, averaging $244 a day. Okay, so we had another green day today, even though it wasn't a huge green day. I was hoping we were going to get up above 5,700, but we didn't. So 53.85 is where we're going to end June. On the month, we're up $2,673 net profit with an $8 commission. And with a $5 commission, $3,690. Okay. On the year now, $30,878. $30,878. That's over 122 trading days, averaging $253 a day. Yes, John, well, I don't know why the euro's going nuts, but the soybeans are going nuts because the grain report just came out. Okay. If you have not taken our free trial, then just go here to the homepage at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column where it says register for a free trial, put in your name, put in your email, click on register for a free trial. When you do, you will get a confirmation link sent to you. Click on the confirmation link, okay? If you click on the confirmation link, you will get everything you need for the free trial. If you don't click that confirmation link, sadly, we don't know you took the trial, okay? I didn't notice the 6E, but Governor Carney was started speaking at 11 o'clock, John. So it could have something to do with that. It did. It did really tank right here, but it tanked before the grain report came out. So I don't know what's going on over there with the euro. But you are correct. Something is happening. All right, let's go through the trade setups. Let's back this out. We'll start with the gold, and yeah, on gold we had just the one trade. We only had 9 trades today, so this isn't going to be too long of a recap. But we missed these 3 trades right here, and that one right there. And when we finally did take a trade, it stopped us out pretty much to the tick, and then went up in the direction we thought it was going to go. During the break, it looks like there was a short trade off the BBC right here. Then you would have needed a lower swing. You could have taken another momentum short right there. Then it changed directions, and it gave a long trade right in here, which would have been break even. Then it changed directions again and gave a short trade here. That would have stopped you out. Okay, so gold, as I said earlier, all the markets were pretty messy today. On gold, we ended with 1 trade and minus 8 ticks. Crude oil, look at 11:30-ish. For this half an hour, it was just chop. Let's scroll back. We took just that 1 trade there on the YM, and we got 2 ticks profit on it. See how choppy it was here in the first half hour. Then it started to move down. There was some opportunity down here. Momentum shorts, mostly break even, it looks like. And yeah, there was just nothing here today. Well, this is the one trade that I took. All right, I got 2 ticks profit on that one. Right in here during the break, there was a long trade opportunity right there. Also during the break, bounce off the BBC right there. And just recently, a momentum long trade right there. And that was it on the euro. Now let's look at the ES. Now the ES was, I mean, just look at how choppy it was. We didn't have any trades in there. We finally did get some trades after the first hour. Right in here, we had a long trade there, then another long trade there, and another long trade there. Okay, I didn't have any SDOM open, so I didn't take any of them, but those were all the trades that there were on the ES. Okay, and on Crude, I didn't take a single trade on Crude today, which is really odd. But I just look at it. It was a choppy mess. And you know, even during the break here, we needed to have a lower swing in place. So right in here would have been a momentum short trade that would have been a break even. And nothing else. So even the crude oil was nothing. Soybeans. Well, we're going to have to back this out because the grain report just came out. Okay. And when the grain report came out, things went a little crazy. The initial reaction down, but then it just took off on the upside. So let's get all that off the screen, and then we can go back here. Our first trade on the soybeans, that is yesterday. Our first trade on the soybeans was right in here. We took 12 ticks profit on that one. Okay, the next trade on the soybeans was right here. We took 4 ticks profit on that one, and then we took a break-even trade. That was what we did on the soybeans today. I didn't make a bracket order on the beans. If I would have said get long above 11.10, and that would have worked out nicely. Yeah, I'm not going to bother going through all that because that's all based on the grain report. Yeah, nothing in there, nothing in there, nothing in there. Right over here, there was a long trade on the beans. And right in here, maybe another long trade. Okay, and that was it for the soybeans. We ended with plus 16 on the soybeans. Okay, on the euro, we had, let's see, we were minus 13 on the euro, so let's go back here. You see, something happened here with the euro during the break. I don't know what, but something. Our first trade of the day on the euro was right here. We were minus 8 on that one. Okay, then we made a tick here, putting us at minus 7. Then we made a couple of ticks there, putting us at minus 5. Then we stopped out again there, putting us at minus 13. During the break, there was a short trade here, put in a lower swing, and that was about it. Let's see. Yeah, well, not counting everything that happened, I don't know. The ECB said they were concerned about the shrinking pool of available debt. I think that's what made it go nuts. I don't know. We told you in the trading room part. And if you are a Daniel's Trading client, then you are sent a book that looks just like this one. that says Commodity Trading Guide. And it's a calendar that's got all the reports on it. But the end of the month, first week of the month, that's when to look for the grain reports to come out. Okay. Now, there was no way you could have gotten into this, but there was a short trade there. There were just bunches of them in here. There. A long trade there, and there, and there. Yeah, you know what? There's no sense in even going over it because most of those trades you couldn't have even gotten into. Crude oil had a long trade bounce off the BBC right there. Okay. And that was that. So we ended the day. Let's bring it back up. Go to recaps. We ended the day with 16 ticks on the soybeans. We lost 13 on the euro. We made 2 on the YM, and we lost 8 on gold. Took us 62 minutes and 2 trades to get to $100 a contract. And we took a total of 9 trades. On the month, we're up $5,385. That's where we're going to close out the month of June. That's over 22 trading days, averaging $244 a day. Okay, on the year, we are at $30,878. Now, last year at this point, we were up $28,170. So we are up $2,800, no, $2,700 more than we were last year at this point. Okay, so over 122 trading days, we're averaging $253 per day, $253 per day. Okay, and that is that. All right, so let me put that back down, stop the recording, and Phoenix, if you are ready, I am ready to send it back out to you. Okay. Well, then let's just take a look at this.
No, I'm ready. I just sent you an email you should take a look at.
Okay.
And I'll take it from here. Recap of the recap.
Today it took 62 minutes and 2 trades to get to $100 a contract.
That's
yeah.
awesome. Anytime you can get your work day done in an hour and have 23 hours to go embrace life, that is awesome. Now,
Yes.
one might think if a person were trading 100 S&P contracts, it would take a lot longer to reach your daily goal than if you were trading one YM contract, when in fact it takes the exact same time. In other words, it takes as long as it takes to reach your daily goal of $100 per contract. You see, the market doesn't care if you're trading 100 S&Ps or 1 Dow. It doesn't care. Don't want to hurt your feelings, but it doesn't. You could be Warren Buffett or Bill Bailey. FIFO, first in, first out. Futures is an electronic market, and so your order gets the same respect as an order from Goldman Sachs. FIFO, remember that, first in, first out. So when you show up each day to go to work, all you have to do is put on your little goggles, your little tunnel vision goggles that say, my goal today is not I'm up to 3 contracts or 5 contracts or 10 contracts or 100. Your goggle vision glasses say, I need to make $100. Bang. You make $100. Today it actually took 62 minutes and 2 trades to make the $100. That's actually kind of a long day for us. Now some days it goes longer, but a lot of days it goes much quicker. Okay? And so that's what you need to work on. That's what you need to focus on. That your goal, as you grow your trading business, first you get this solid foundation underneath you where you put together 10 consecutive days in a row in the simulator. No faking it, the real deal. Once you do that, once you have 10 consecutive days in a row, then you go live with one contract. Okay? Now, here's where things are going to differ from other programs. We're going to encourage you to increase your account balance by $2,000 before you add another contract. I know, because you have 10 days in a row, you feel like a trader and you think you should probably go trade 10 contracts. I beg you not to. I beg you to stay with one and see if you can't increase your account balance by $2,000. You see, if you do that, you'll have a really solid foundation underneath you. Not only a foundation of understanding, of knowledge, of emotions, but you'll be able to pay for the second contract with profit you earned in the market. Not money from under the mattress, not money from the 401k or the IRA or Aunt Ida, but money you actually earned in the market. That's how you build a trading business on a solid foundation, one brick at a time, one contract at a time. And remember, you have the luxury of 10 trades every single day to make one little tiny $100 bill. One Benjamin. 10 trades to make a Benjamin. Okay? You with me? All right. Let me show you my screens. There you go. Now, once you've increased the account balance by $2,000, you'll add your third contract with money you earned in the market trading. Okay? Do you see the difference when you build from within as opposed to taking on debt by borrowing money to increase the account size? It makes a whole world of difference. I could go deep on the difference it makes, but trust me, go sit with an economist and tell them, hey, I could build this business this way or this way. Now, keep in mind, they don't understand anything about the markets and the fact that 90% of traders, well, don't have the benefit of personalized, individualized, one-on-one mentoring. They won't get that part, okay? They look at a business as you're a painter, you're a plumber, you're a truck driver. See, as a trader, you're a unique human being, which is why you should probably have an accountant that has some experience working with traders. He could actually probably give you some tips. Now, by the time you add your fourth contract, that's a $400 a day gross. On a 5-day week, that's $2,000 before commissions. Now, the more trades it took to reach your daily goal each day, the smaller your net will be. The fewer trades it took to reach your daily goal each day, the larger your net will be. However, chances are it will be real close to, if not larger than, paychecks you may have earned in the past working for someone else. So don't focus on the 20 contracts today. The blueprint's designed to take you from 1 to 20. But today, just focus on today. And every day, focus on today. And what's today's goal? Whether you're at 1 contract or 20 contracts, your goal today is simply to make $100. Do you think you can do that? Do you think you can learn to make $100 Tonight is our partners workshop. I encourage you to be there. In order to be there, you do need to be a partner. If you've been on the trial, you should have received an email from Michael. And in that email, it clearly states what it takes to become a partner. If you have any questions at all, email support@cfrn.net or give a call 949-42-EMINI or 415-856-5754. You'll get in touch with somebody, you'll get the answers to your questions, and lo and behold, you'll be in that partners meeting tonight. Now, platform. That decision should have been made during your week of training. But perhaps you weren't focused. Perhaps you weren't really paying attention. You have a number of options at your disposal. We'll talk to you about those tonight in the partners meeting. Okay? So, as we were talking, our buy signal from last night at 2075 triggered. We've now put in a swing high at 2083.75. So from 75 to 83, that's 8 points. So this is now 8.75. Okay? That's what the market has made available. You may have been trading to your hard target, which was simply 8 ticks. And so, if that's the case, you're done for the day. You're free to go fishing or boating or golfing or whatever it is traders do when they're not trading. I don't know. I'm always trading, so, or teaching trading, so I don't get a lot of those luxuries. But last night, when the alerts came out, you had an opportunity to go short, and the market made 6.5 points available. And then as the session progressed, you can see that it made a little additional extra, 63, dropped down to a swing low of 61. So there was a couple points on the downside there. And now we just ran up 8.75. That crude trade I was talking about earlier, this is yesterday when I drew this yellow arrow. This is where price was exactly to the tick. Right there. And we said, consider buying 49.35 or sell 48.75, whichever presents itself first. The sell side did not present itself, so the only opportunity that arose was the buy side. In 45 minutes, we did $400 per contract. And at the swing high, if you do the math, it was over $1,000 per contract in less than an hour. Now, yesterday's crude inventories, those were way back here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. We do not trade the crude inventories. Sometimes Michael might trade them with the guys in the live trading room, but we don't trade them because it is a news-driven event, and that sometimes can become like gambling, so we don't want to get involved in that. What we're here to do is to execute a skill set that we have learned over the years We've learned that less is more, and that's exactly what we want to do. We want to apply less in order to obtain more. That's what our mentoring program is about, to show you how to look at a chart. I brought out no indicators, didn't draw any trend lines, simply looked at the chart. I told you where to get long, I told you where to get short. Now, we've been doing this for years on the radio, okay? You can, no matter what anybody says, no matter how many times you might have tried and failed, you can learn how to trade. First, you have to learn how to read a chart. We will help you learn how to read the chart. Once you learn how to read the chart, the good news is that you can then learn how to trade. Once you learn how to trade, the world is your oyster. All things become possible. Now, let's go take a look at our good word for the day. I've got it hiding right over here. Now, yesterday we talked about overcoming the I can't mentality. They reached the promised land, they sent the spies in. All of the spies but 2 came back and said, no way, Jose. Sorry, Jose. 9. All the spies but 2 said, man, those dudes are giants. But yet 2, filled with faith who believed that their God was greater than they were, they said something along the lines of, we can smoke these cats. You know, the vernacular of the day. In case you ever wondered, back in the day, they didn't say things like thee and thou and all that stuff. But that's just a freebie. Go read The Messenger. You'll get a little closer to what the vernacular of the day was like. And you might, for once in your life, actually enjoy reading the Bible. Some say it's heresy. I say if it gets you to read the Bible from cover to cover, I'll stand guilty on the day of judgment that I shared heresy with you. Now today, we're going to talk about keeping your mouth shut when appropriate. We're going to talk about knowing what not to say. Proverbs, because we're all wise and we all can't wait to spout our wisdom and make sure everybody at the office or the church or the cocktail party knows just how clever we really are. Proverbs 29:11 says, a fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. Who is that deep, dark, quiet, mysterious guy in the corner? He doesn't say much, but yet he observes much. Wouldn't you want to be that guy rather than the nutcase with the lampshade on his head? Maybe not. I don't know. It's just a question. Honesty and good communication. These are the foundation stones for a healthy relationship. This is particularly so in marriage. But any good idea can be misused. For example, it's honest for a man to tell his wife that he doesn't care for the way she cooks. It's honest for a woman to express her anger over her husband's shortcomings. But honesty that does not have the best interest of the other person at heart is cruel and a form of selfishness. This is especially so when the other person can't do anything about it. You know, over the years, my wife has struggled, as have all her six sisters, struggled with their weight. Sometimes she would be, over 33 years, she would be this little tiny thing, and other times she would not be so tiny, and then she would be this tiny thing again, and then not so tiny. And she asked me once, she said, "Why is it? I've heard all my brother-in-laws say it, but why is it you've never called me fat?" And I said, "Because I love you. Period. End of story. Because I love her." Some couples, in their determination to share every thought and every opinion, destroy the sweet spark of romance that originally drew them together. No longer is there any sense of magic. They've unraveled the romantic allure that first attracted them to one another. Your spouse is the person you chose to marry. So if you didn't do your homework up front, don't complain when you don't like the results. Peter writes in 1 Peter 4:8, "Continue to show deep love for each other, for love covers a multitude of sins." Paul writes, "Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance." 1 Corinthians 13:4-7. When you practice these virtues as they are written, you, my friend, are guaranteed. There's not a lot of guarantees in this world, but you're guaranteed a happy marriage. Now, when I used to perform a lot of marriage ceremonies, and Lord knows I performed my share in the day, whenever I would counsel the young couple, I would counsel them individually and also in private. And as I would get the young man alone in the room, we would chit-chat a little bit. So I've got a question for you. What if, when you returned from your honeymoon, what if your wife was on the way to work and she were in a car accident, and while she survived, she was horribly disfigured for the rest of her life? Disfigured in such a way that she could not even attend to her own bathroom needs. Would you still love her? I did not listen for his words. Because we know the tongue is a slippery thing. It can say whatever you want it to say. You see, this question came at him out of the blue. Nobody had ever asked him this question before. So I wasn't listening for his words. I was watching for the reaction on his face. Because I knew that if he truly loved her, I knew that if he was truly committed to her, I knew that if he actually meant the vows he was about to profess in the coming days on the altar in front of a church full of people and God himself, I knew that if he really loved her, and I mean really loved her, there would be no look of fear on his face. There would be no look of shock or horror. In fact, the ones that passed the test, they would lean in towards me across the desk with a sense of urgency and eagerness, and they would say words like, "Of course, even more so." When I got that response from him, and then I went into the other room and had the same conversation with her, when I got the same response from both parties, I knew that I had found a couple whose love was deep, whose love was true, whose love was ordained of God, and whose marriage would stand the test of time. And you know what? If I didn't see that in either one of them, then we had to do more counseling. Until I helped them see themselves the way others saw them, not the way God saw them, but the way they needed to see themselves. They needed to understand that they weren't quite ready. That they were either a little immature, had a little growing to do, or this other person simply was hot but wasn't the right one. You see, to me, my wife is as hot today as she was 33 years ago. Neither one of us looks the same. Not even close. But there's a spark. There's magic that hasn't gone away and never will. Because what we have was ordained of God. So for whoever it is in the audience that is contemplating marriage this day, you're wooing your sweetheart with candy and champagne and vacation trips. I want you to think about the words I've said today. I want you to ponder these words, because according to the Bible, as it is written, this decision for marriage between a man and a woman is a decision of a lifetime. This isn't a try it for 30 days and if you don't like it, bring it back. This is an eternal commitment. When Christ went to the cross, he made an eternal commitment for your soul. When you get married, when you go to that altar, you make an eternal commitment for your partner's soul. I challenge you, my friend, please do not take that lightly. I know that's a little heavy, but it is a very good word for the day. So let's move on to lighter things. S&P 500. Last night, when the alerts went out, very clear, very easy to understand. S&P 500, Wednesday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Sell 2063. If you sold 2063, there were 6.5 points available. If you were trading to a hard target of 2 points, you got it. If you were trailing your stop, you got it. Over here, only 2 points were available. And here, we've now seen this rally up to 2085 and a quarter. So we now have 10.25. Now, what did it take to go from 8.75 to 10.25? Patience. Is that an ingredient that a trader must have? Yes. In mentoring sessions, I have people tell me all the time, I fear I don't have patience. I fear I don't have discipline. Well, you see, while I can teach you technique, I can help you to understand indicators, I can help you to understand strategy, I can't make you not go ring the bell on Seal Beach. The patience, the endurance, the discipline, it has to come from inside. People ask me, how do I stop myself from getting in early? Keep your hand off the mouse. Unless you're Uri Geller, which some of you don't remember who he is, but anyway. If you keep your hand off the mouse, you can't get in the trade early. It's that simple. Trading's not easy, never has been, never will be, but it can be simple. That has been our company slogan from day one. Trading's not easy, but it can be simple. I'm going to show you something that I showed a fellow yesterday in a mentoring session. I'm going to go to this. We can see that our Concierge Trade Alerts paid off in spades last night. Here is, and oh, this is a different daily chart. I won't be able to use this one. I'll use a different one. This ties into the article, a series of articles that I've been asked to write for Seeking Alpha. And here at the bottom, when all was lost, I had a little talk with Chicken Little, and she said, I'm just pulling everybody's leg. Our number on the upside, just remember, you heard it here first. It's 2,500. Now Garrett, he contributed a chart to the article last night using the cash chart. His cash chart has it pegged at 24. Our futures chart has it pegged at 25. We began the article here, and now we're here. Our first battle will come here, and as the days progress, I will walk you through the ladder on the way up to our target. Just go to Seeking Alpha. You may see it on the front page. If you don't, just search Dwayne Reeves or CFRN, and it'll take you right to the article, to all the articles. I've written many articles over the years for them. They reached out and asked if I would be interested in writing for them again. Turns out their terms have changed, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and write for them anyway. All right. I want to show you this. We'll take this chart. We'll turn it into an ES chart. Now we all hear about the 2 points a day on the S&P. Oh, brother, if I could just get 2 points a day on the S&P, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't it? Sure, absolutely it would. Now, right here, at the top, we've got 2085. Let's see if we can scale it a little differently. Well, we'll just keep it at 2080. I would love to do that. Move this out of the way. You can't see it, but I can. And to make my point, I need to do that. Okay. So, alright, let's see if we can shorten it up a little more. Come on. Alright, there's 2085.08. So we're going to just pretend that says 2085. Okay? In fact, we can do it this way. This will make it really simple. I should have thought of that first. But that would have been too easy. Now wouldn't it? We want to go to 2085. I remember back in the day when I could see the screen clearly. If for no other reason, that's a reason that you shouldn't stare at the screen all day. Okay? Because it will, over time, affect your vision. So that is 2085. Can everyone see the pop-up? 2085. Now I'm going to draw a line at 2083. Or I'm going to attempt to. Let's see if that's possible. $20.80. I can do this. 2083. Now, why am I doing all this? Well, you'll see in just a moment. And some of you are already ahead of me. Okay. Now, here's what I want you to see. Okay. I'm going to put a little square right there. Now, you'll notice that my square has overlapped these lines just a little bit, right? Okay. Now, today, June the 29th, started right here. How about right here? We'll find it. We'll track it down. We're almost there. Yeah. Should have gone to a time-based chart. That would have made this oh so much easier. Will that work? Sure it will. But let's do it 5-minute style, because that's probably what you're more accustomed to looking at. Now this will make it very easy to put this on a, there it is, midnight 05. So we can back up one. There you go. See, that's midnight, June the 29th. Today is June the 29th. Okay? So price has gone here and here. It's gone leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, deeper retracement, leg, retrace, leg, deeper retracement, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. So what's the funny little box all about? Okay. The funny little box is 2 points. On this chart, exactly as it's scaled. Okay. Top of the box, 2082.65, 2079.26. Here, we'll scale it differently now that we're on a time base. Hang on. I'll just drag this up to 2085 to make my point. God, that's so close. $20.85.05. All right. Now let's get this one up to 2083. Can we do that? 2081. $20.82. So the bottom of the box right there is 20.83 1/4. The top of the box is 2085. And we got to make that a quarter. We got to do it or it won't work. Come on. $20.83 Got to get just a little bit higher. It's a little too high. Hard to imagine. 20.85 $20.83 You get the idea. 20.83 to 20.85 So what's that? That's 2 points. Okay. Now this is today on a 5-minute chart. And so that's 2 points, and that's 2 points. That's 2 points, that's 2 points, that's 2 points. Do you get my drift? It's 2 points. That's 2 points. So when you roll out of bed every day, if you trade the S&P, doesn't matter because it's $100 per contract. So it's either going to be 8 ticks in the S&P, or it's going to be 10 ticks in crude, or 10 ticks in gold. If you choose the Dow, it'll be 20 because it only pays $5 a tick. So this little tiny box, that's your challenge. Your challenge is to take that out of the market on a daily basis consistently. Now, not only is your goal to take 2 points out of the market, you get 10 chances. You can hear the carnival barker. Hey, step right up. 10 softballs for $1. Knock over a stuffed animal and win it for your sweetheart. So you're telling me I get 10 chances to take this out of the market, and if it takes me 10 shots every day to take this out of the market, I'll still graduate in 24 months as a 20 contract trader. Yes. Well, what if, here's that negative thinking again, what if over the period of 24 months I haven't gotten any better, and it still takes me 10 throws every day to get that 2 points? Well, the bottom line is your net won't be that of the guy who can do it in an average of 3 to 4 trades. But if it takes you 10 trades every day, even after you've graduated as a 20 contract trader, adding 1 contract at a time at the appropriate time, that's $10,000 per week gross before commissions. Doesn't matter if you take them out here or over here, here, or here. Simply learn to take $100 per day consistently out of the market. Use your profits to increase the number of contracts that you trade. On the 3rd contract, start taking a small paycheck which will grow over time. only keep the amount of money in your trading account that is necessary to trade the number of contracts you are currently at. That includes drawdowns and stop outs, so you need 1.5 times the amount. These are things that oftentimes other folks won't share with you. I share these with you because I sleep well at night when I know you are succeeding. And trust me, no one loves to sleep well more than I. So let's go back to the Dow. We've covered the S&P, smoking hot, no problem there. Here's the Dow, okay? Here's when the alert came out last night. The alert actually came out at 20:15, but I gave you 15 minutes to run down to the inbox and run back to your platform. So I've drawn the line at 20:30. If you buy 17,680, this first move up is 23 points. Earlier it was 65 points, but now it's gone and moved up on me. So at this point, the swing high is 17. Swing high is 17. I'm going to have to hire somebody to come in and read this for me. 17,790. Okay, so if we take 17,790, 17,790 minus 17,660. It's 130 points. That the market has made available at $5 per point. Okay? So that's $650 that the market has made available. Now, no one gets out at the exact swing high or the exact swing low. Only if you're trading for your daily target of 20 points. If you were doing that here, you were done for the day. If you decided to trail your stop, if you were using the CFRN indicators, then you'd still be in this trade. You'd have 130 points under your belt, and as long as the step line stays on the north side of the blue MA1, we're looking for this market to climb. Only when the step line gets on the south side of the MA1 and price closes below the step line, then we take our exit, stage right. But for now, you let it go. Now you can exit anytime you want. Oh my God, I've made $550, $650. I'm getting out. You got to get rid of that stinking thinking, okay? See, we find it very difficult to stay in a winning trade, a profitable trade. I don't like the term winning. You don't win anything, you earn it by applying the skill set that you've learned. But in an unprofitable trade, we'll stay in that thing for days because we know the moment we hit exit, we book the loss and we've actually lost money. As long as it's unrealized, it's not really a loss because there could always be a miracle. Jesus could come back, the markets could rally, and I could be made whole. If that happens, then you're a very lucky guy, but you're not a very good trader. Which would you rather be? Because we've all experienced luck at some point in our life. But unless we're a genie, we can't call it up at will. But our skill set that we carefully learn, we can call that up anytime, day or night. Gold. On gold, word was buy 13.23, sell 13.18. Now, gold has given us multiple $1,000 plus days. We even had an $8,000 day the other day. Okay, I told you then, and I'll tell you now, that doesn't happen very often. Okay, so don't count on it. But when it happens, take advantage of it. Okay, that's the truth about trading. Sell 13.18. Okay. And if you sell 13.18, the swing lows 13.16.50. So that's $150 per contract. That's if you got out at the exact swing low. Okay. So we're going to call this 1.5 points at $10 per point. I want you to get familiar with exactly how you speak the speak of the market that you're trading. Whether it's points in the Dow or ticks in gold. How many ticks do you need in gold? 10. In crude, 10. In the S&P, 12. In soybeans, 12. It seems like an awful lot to remember in the beginning, but as time passes, you'll find that it's a walk in the park. Okay, so that takes care of gold for the day. We had an opportunity to do 8 ticks to the upside. We need 10. Then there was 240 made available. There was 270 made available. And on the short side, there was 160, 150 made available. Okay? Could you have taken your, remember, on the 2420 blueprint, your goal is only 10 ticks a day. That's all you need. If you take 5 out of this trade and 5 out of this trade, that's 10. Wow, but it took 2 trades. That's awesome because you still got 8 more trades that you didn't use, and those roll over to tomorrow. So when you come in tomorrow, you have 18 trades to get your goal, not just 10. They just keep rolling forward. They never expire. They never go bad. Okay? All right. Now, let me see what I got over here. Brian, I'm assuming you were asking Michael that question, so he's probably... Tim, I see your message. Did Michael respond to you? Concierge Trade Alerts are a separate product. If you've paid for them and you've fallen off the list, let me know and I'll get you back on the list. If you receive them as a 30-day bonus for signing on, then your time has run out. But if in fact you've actually paid for those, let me know, support@cfrn.net. After the show, what I'll do is I'll pull up your file and I'll see exactly where you stand. I know you're current on your monthly $75, but I don't know where you stand on the concierge. So I'll pull up the file. You can email me in the meantime. And if it turns out, in fact, that you are not qualified, we'll send you a link that shows you how you can get back on the list. Okay? All right. Brian asked, regarding the pullback after the cross and pull away, how close to the BBC does the pullback have to be to tell me that I have a possible trade on hand, assuming I have the proper divergence? Well, if it pulls all the way back to physically touch the BBC, you don't need a trend line. Okay, every time you put in a higher high or a higher low or a lower low, depending upon if you've had a bullish cross or a bearish cross, each time you have the higher high or the lower low, you draw the trend line back to the BBC. If price pulls all the way back to the BBC, then you delete the trend line. So it's not a matter of how close it gets, it's a matter of which happens first. Does it touch the BBC, or does it close above or below the trend line? That's how you measure it, okay? And if you need extra help on that, just come to the partners meeting tonight and we'll be glad to help you with that. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Bart, at 13.18, weren't there several fills and stops since the alerts went out? It depends upon where your stop was. Tim, I fell off and it has not run out. Thanks. It was a package deal. Okay, I'll pull up your file as soon as I'm done. Okay. Bart, at 13.18, are you talking about, what are you talking about? This 13.18 right here? Now, we can draw our 13 all the way over here. Because that's when the alerts came out. Okay. Now, would you take this trade if your stop had to be way up here? Nah, probably not. If you wanted to put your stop here, then you simply got stopped out. Okay. The swing low here was 13.1760. It went 4 ticks. Okay. This move dropped down to a swing low of 1660. So that would be $340 per contract. And it just keeps going and going and going and going. This one dropped all the way down to 13. 15.30. So that would be $270 per contract right there. So did I answer your question? Okay, good. Hopefully so. Okay. Now let's go to bonds. We've had 2 days in a row where bonds did not trigger. Okay? Now, that's not that unusual, but it's pretty unusual. Here's why. After we have huge days in a market, it is normal for the market to consolidate for a period of time. So there's a no trigger day. There's a no trigger day. There's a $1,000 per contract move. And then here's an 18 tick times 31.25. What is that? 18 times 31.25 equals, that's $562.50 in this move. That's what the market made available. And then the market made over $1,000 per contract available there. Then if we go back to this day, which was the anomaly day, where we had $5,000 per contract, those days come around literally once in a lifetime. But if we continue back in bonds, I think that's as far back as I have them marked on this chart, because I crashed my charts last week. So now let's get up to today. Today, 20:30 last night, as the alerts went out on bonds, ZB U6 by 172.20, which is right here. Okay, if you follow the horizontal line across, you'll see that is 172.20. Okay, now the swing high is 73.23. So from 173.20, let's write it down, by 173.20. By 173.20. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Bonds by 172.20. That makes a little more sense. 172.20. Now, after we have consolidation days, we tend to have semi-explosive days, which can lead to incredibly explosive days. So from 172.20 up to 173.20, which is right there.
New visitor.
173.20, 172.20 to 173.20. Look at the right hand side, look at my cursor, follow it across all the way to the right, 173.20. Okay, that's $1,000 per contract available. Rule of thumb says, anytime you make $1,000 per contract on any instrument in one day, what do? You take the money and run. Why? Because of this. Now, is it triggering again? Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. If we take our fib tool and we go from the swing low to the swing high, what are we sitting on? A 62% retracement, which has climbed to a 50% retracement, which has now climbed to a 38% retracement. If it gets through the 38, there's nothing standing in its way all the way up to 173.02. And if it gets through 173.02, there is nothing standing in the way all the way up to 173.23. Okay? That's how that works. Now, what if all that happens? What would you expect on the upside? Is it going to just screech to a halt there? Probably not. Let's add this little tool. This little tool of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. We're gonna go to Fibonacci price extension. We're only gonna use the image Fibonacci price extension. Going to drag it over here. Going to close this. Okay. Now we're going to click on this. And we're going to go from the swing low to the swing high. These are fixed points. This is history. This has already happened. It cannot change. Okay? These are not variables. These are carved in stone numbers. The swing low really was 171. And the swing high really was 173.24. The retracement really was 171. Is that right? Yep. 171.28. Those will never change. Okay? Only the variables on the right-hand side of this have the ability to affect the outcome of a trade. Not this. Except when you're using the look left strategy to find out where you're going to run into obstacles and roadblocks for these trades. But those are two completely different issues, different days, different lessons. Okay? All right. So, what have we done? We've gone from the swing low to the swing high to the retracement. Now, a fellow from the 14th century, Mr. Fibonacci, he left us some math behind, which even to this day, God finds useful in the creation of all things in nature, from pine cones to seashells to sunflowers to the human ear. Now, price needs to do this. It needs to overcome this, followed by this. It needs to take out this and this got a lot of work to do. And then it has absolutely nothing in its way, no obstacles, all the way up to 74.20. We started at 72.20. This is 73.20. That's $1,000 per contract. If price is able to rally to 174.20, that will be a $2,000 per contract move. Just a little side lesson in Fibonacci. Okay, let's go to crude oil. We already talked about what happened yesterday. Big move, crude inventories. So what might we expect today because of what happened yesterday? Might we suspect a bit of a flat day, a day of some potential consolidation? Exactly. How do we know these things? Because they repeat themselves over and over and over. Okay? So this is when the alerts went out last night. They went out at 20:15. I'm dropping the line at 20:30. And let's just see what has this day brought us. Okay, on crude oil. The idea was to buy 49.70. Did you have a chance to do that? Doesn't look that way. The other idea was if you had the opportunity, what you wanted to do in crude oil was you wanted to sell 49.10. Were you given that opportunity? Yes, you were. Not only were you given that opportunity, but I've heard it said before that important prices and important areas are almost always tested. Sell 49.10. Sell 49.10. Okay. 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 All right. So the first move down took us to a swing low of 48.56. So that would have been, let's see, 60 would have been 44. 10 would have been 54. Okay. So that's 54 ticks. At $10 per tick. If you're still struggling with how to trail your stop, you simply grab price and the DOM and drag it down. Okay? All right. This time we get a swing low at 40.50. Okay? So from 49.10 to 48.50, that's 60 ticks available. 60 ticks available. Which, if you got out at the exact swing low, which I don't think you did, would be $600 per contract. But what if you took half of this because you couldn't get out at the swing low? Well, that's $250, and maybe you only got half of this. That's $300. That's still half a gee whiz for the day based on one contract. If you've graduated to trading 10 contracts, well, then that's substantially more. Okay? That's how math works. All right, soybean time. And because we had a grain report, which came out at 11 o'clock and had a powerful impact on the market. Okay? Actually, it came out at noon. Bert was giving me his time, 11 Chicago. This is 12 Eastern. Okay? So we're not going to count this because that's gambling. All right? And we don't gamble. We practice our skill set as we learn it. Okay? So 2030, that's when the alert went out last night. And the alert said to consider buying 1152, which would be about right. Oh, I'm sorry, by 1152, we never came close. Okay? Oh, I had to send out a correction on those. Stand by for the correction on soybeans. Correction on soybeans looked a little something like this. Give me one more second to pull it up. Okay. Campaigns. Correction. View email. Here we go. All right. No computer spit out July numbers because there's still tradable volume. However, we have been in November beans for some time. I failed to catch the error that the computer spit out the July numbers instead of the November numbers, and Todd brought that to my attention, and so I sent out a follow-up alert to correct that. And so the correct numbers for beans are to buy 27 and sell 14. So buying 27, which was a correct number, not going to happen, okay? But selling 11.14, very much going to happen, okay? Sell 11.14. Okay. There's 11.14. Sell 11.14. The swing low we're not going to get into any of this because that's based on the report. That's when the report was released at 12 noon. So we do not calculate that into any of this. Okay? It would be real easy to say, wow, look where we, that's gambling. We don't gamble. Okay? All right. So the idea was to sell 11.14, which we can do. Not violate any rules. Sell 11.14, okay. And then we get a swing low at, now I'm not going to go to this swing low because that's running it down into that hour. So we're going to go back. Each one of these, each candle is a half hour. So I'm going to go back an hour and a half before the report. The swing low was 1097.50. So 1097.50. Let's just call it 1098. $11.14 minus 1098 equals 16 points times $50 per point equals $800 per contract available. Now remember, the goal of what we want to do here is we want to teach you how to trade. Well, yeah, but I want to make $800 a contract. Well, first you need to learn how to trade. These days will come. First, learn how to trade. If you sell 11.14, when price gets down 2 points to 11.12, that's your $100 per contract per day. And I'm going to leave all that on the table. You never even had a table before. Now, once you go live and you're trading multiple contracts, if you want to trail your stop, go right ahead. You've earned the right to do that. Don't complain about what you're leaving on the table when you never had a table before. Okay? Some of you are finding profitability for the very first time. It's a very heady elixir. I can actually do this. Visions of Ferraris dance in your head. Put that nonsense to rest. This is a job unlike any other job, but yet like any other job, in that you got to show up, sit down, go to work. You don't know if it's going to be a 1 trade day or a 15 trade day. All you know is that you're going to make $100, and when you've made your $100, you're heading home or going out to embrace life. Walk in the park, feed the pigeons, pet the dog, love the wife. It's your life. Live it any way you want to. Okay? Now, we've covered soybeans, we've covered gold. Did we cover bonds? Let's see if we covered bonds. We covered bonds, $1,000 a contract. Okay. We've covered it all. Covered the S&P. Is very kind. Continues to climb, or wants to continue to climb. Short side, long side, however you want to get your points today in the S&P, they were right there waiting for you. Okay? Now, Dow, 23 points, 130 points. You only need 20. Gold, 8 ticks available. It's 80 bucks. 240 bucks available. 270 bucks available. And 150 bucks available. So could you have somehow managed to retch your $100 per contract out of that? Chances are pretty hard to miss that $1,000 per contract if you're trading for the bigger picture. Crude oil, $540 per contract, $600 per contract. Soybeans, we just covered those. Oh, the NQ, that's the one we didn't do. Somehow I knew in the back of my head what's left of it. There was one market we had not covered yet. So let's drop our flag at 2030. Okay. All right. NASDAQ. By 43.69, so 43.54. 43.69. Right? That's right. So buy 43.69. And on the other side, sell 43.54. $3.54. Come on. Oh, 43.54. Is it really that hard? You'd think, huh? So 43.54 down to 43.38.50. I better write it down. Sell. Sell. 43.54. Okay. So sell 43.54. All right. Swing low here is 43. 38.50. 43.38.50. All right, so we do some fancy calculating. 43.54. 43.54 minus 43.38.50 equals 15.5 points. $15.5 times $20 per point. So rough math tells you that 5.5 times 20 is going to give you your $100 per contract per day plus a little extra. Okay. Now on this buy side, we've got swing highs at 72, 43.60 to 43.72. That's not at 43.60. We're supposed to be buying 43. No, we're not. The heck am I doing? Buy 43.69. Hang on. Yeah, by 43.69. So that's not supposed to say 43.60. That's supposed to say 43.69. Where I had it originally, 43.69. Okay. So from 43.69, we made it up to 43.75. So up to 40, from 69 to 75, that's 6 points. How many do you need? You need 5. Because the NASDAQ pays $20 per point. You got 6, you need 5. Come back, trigger again, up we go. This time, swing high, 43.99. So from 69 to 99, that would be 30 points. Times $20 a point. Equals $600 per contract available. So there you have it. And that triggered at 10:30 this morning. Very nice run. S&P ran around that time as well, as did the Dow. Oh, we didn't look at the Russell. Should go check that out. Now, with this aggravating little thing, I got to turn my data on and off to make sure it's flowing. So, I might as well just do that. Make sure we have fresh data. Disconnect, bar chart. Connect, bar chart. Okay. So now we can bring this back up and know that we have reasonably fresh data. All right. And so, let's stretch it out so we can see what's going on. Yesterday, we have $1,500 per contract available. Let's see what we had last night. I'm getting out of this bar chart thing here most skosh. I can't see, it won't come off the hourly, so I'm kind of stuck with it, but it is what it is. Okay, so Russell, buy 1134. Okay. If you bought 1134, you put in a swing high at 1141. So that's from 1134 to 1141. That's $700 per contract. Available. Okay. If you're trailing your stop on this pullback, I suspect you got taken out. Okay. Let's say 70, it should say 700. Thank God for DT Pro. Wow. This is a horrendous little thing to try to operate. Okay, on the short side, was selling 10 1/4, which wasn't even in the picture. So we don't have to concern ourselves with that. 10 1/4. Okay, so that covers everything. We did the S&P, we did the Dow, we did the Russell, the gold, the crude, the bonds, the soybeans, the NASDAQ, the Great 8, all done, all covered, and all coming up like roses. Okay? Profitable trades in each market. And the day's not even done. So hopefully your day has been just as well. So with that, I'm going to go get ready for my mentoring sessions today, my outside appointments, the accountant, partners meeting tonight, and of course all of you that want to get signed up off of the free trial and become partners between now and 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern tonight when the partners meeting starts. Once the partners meeting starts, we're both in the meeting. We don't really have anyone to walk you through the sign-up process. So if you want to get signed up and actually be in the partners meeting tonight, proceed with the paperwork now. Okay? Better to do now than that which you can put off until later, right? You've heard that since you were a kid. It's still true today. All right, my friends. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-host, and guest. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financier before making any investment decision.
This podcast is brought to you by System Runner. To test drive a breakthrough in automated forex trading and to open a demo account today, visit www.systemrunner.com.
Hello and welcome to the Mind of a Trader. This is Steve Croft. What if you could look back in time and then actually go back and start over and do some things that you're presently doing, but with the knowledge that you've picked up over all these years? You know, there was the great movie Back to the Future where they could go back, but they were all scared about if they did something that would change the future. Some people would disappear, and et cetera, et cetera. But there's always been movies about someone going back and making just a little change here, a little change there, and their future became so much different, the positive. What if, as a trader, you could take all the knowledge that you have right now and you started over and you went back 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, however long you've been trading? What would you do differently? Would you still have those bumps in the road? Would you still be trading? Would you have stopped? The great author and speaker Og Mandino said, "Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough." Well, if you could go back, would your determination overcome maybe some of the bumps that you had to endure? What would you do differently? What would you like to do differently? Well, let's go back. Let's take a step back, and let me give you just a couple ideas of what I would recommend that you might do. And in reality, what we're really saying is, wherever we are right now, and if things are a little frustrating, if we don't quite have the edge that we want, we might want to just roll back and start over fresh with these new perspectives around us. First, some people step into trading and they immediately see, the huge dollar amounts in front of themselves, and all of a sudden they say, wow, I'm going to be a full-time professional trader overnight, just like that. Well, I would say that the first thing I would tell everybody is don't give up your day job. We hear that in humorous things in a lot of areas when people try to maybe become a professional basketball player, or a professional actor, or they want to step up on stage as a diva or whatever, and somebody says, wow, man, hope you didn't give up your day job. Well, the same thing here. Let's realize what it takes to be able to be a full-time trader or a serious part-time trader. We don't take into account the time, the attention, the capital that we need, the amount of planning that we need to do to sufficiently get ourselves sustained at a high level of success and get ourselves into a solid plan that we're doing. And if you put all the pressure of having no income anywhere else and trying to do this full-time right from the beginning, it could be disastrous. So if that's maybe something that you've done, you might want to think of, well, what if I supplemented my trading with another income and then continued to get better? Robert Allen, the great writer of a lot of books in finances, he created the phrase multiple streams of income. Well, those of us in the world that are striving to get better, it's a great thing for each one of us to think about. I should never put all my eggs in one basket. Trading should be one of the many things that gives me streams of income. So don't quit your day job so quickly. Make sure that you are prepared if this is something that you want to do on a day-by-day basis every day for your full-time income, that you are 100% prepared to do that. Number 2, I would ensure that I have given considerable amount of time to my practice trading. Some people call it demo trading, paper trading, and continuing to do that even after I am trading with real money. Well, let's think about it. Isn't it interesting that you find Olympic athletes, pick any sport, tennis, golf, football, basketball, swimming, pick anything out there, the top people in every field. Isn't it interesting how much time they put into practice? Even when they reach the pinnacle of their career, they still are probably putting in more practice than anyone else. Yet, for some reason, we as traders feel that once we've kind of got it down, I don't need to practice anymore. I just need to trade with real money. Or I'll just practice for a few months and then I'll start trading with my life savings. No wonder so many people lose so much money and then say, I'm never going to trade again. Trading is truly part of a performance environment. And any kind of a performance that needs to happen needs to have practice. I mean, the majority of people that reach the top of their career practice harder than anyone else. They worked at it, they scratched, they clawed their way to the top. If you've ever seen the picture and you see a man standing up on top of a mountain, he's holding the flag up there, and I love the phrase on the bottom of these. It says, the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. And the only way he got there was by climbing. So he or she made it to the top of the mountain. That means they probably slid a few times, maybe fell a few times, but they kept on. And once they get to the top, what do the great ones do? They find a higher mountain and continue to practice and get better. So don't quit my day job. Second, make sure that I continue to practice. Practice a lot before I go live and continue to practice to get better. Number 3, I would double check and review, maybe even triple check, and make sure that I'm practicing and trading live in the time frame and with the market, or whether you're whatever types of trading that you're doing, that you've practiced and looked at lots of different combinations of what you were trading. Some people trade in the time frame, they trade better in the morning than the afternoon. Some people trade in the early morning, some people trade in the mid-afternoons, depending on what part of the world you're working with. Depending on what product or financial tool you're trading with, you're going to find one that kind of matches up with you better than another one. But I'm amazed at how someone can be so mediocre in one market or one time frame, and all of a sudden they move or shift a little bit and they become tremendously more successful, because it seems to work with their personal needs. It kind of captures the right blend of who they are with the time frame and market that they want to work with. So try out different things. Find that area of the day and area of the huge worldwide market of different ways of trading, and find the ones that match up with who you are. Number 4, make sure that you become the master of one type of strategy before you start adding hundreds and hundreds of other ones. I mean, at least get 1 or 2, maybe even 3. But find that first few that you can really become a master at. I mean, you don't even have to think about it. You can really just focus on the process, and you just stick to it every step, one after another. See, by working on a specific strategy, you can really focus on patterns and trends and execution skills and money management, risk management, discipline, the skills that so many of us need help with, but we never get a chance to become good at it because we're always jumping from this strategy to that strategy to this strategy, and we never stick with one long enough to be very good at it. So what I'm recommending is, no matter how many months it takes, no matter how many charts you have to print out, no matter how many times you have to meet with your group or get on the online classes that you're working with, or the DVDs that you're watching and listening to, no matter how long it takes, become the master of a small group of strategies and then start expanding. Think what would have happened if we would have just done these 4 things when we first started. I didn't put all the pressure of having to have all my income come from trading. I didn't just practice for a couple weeks and then jump in because of all the big money. I didn't just pick one time. I looked at a lot of different times until I found the comfortable time and the comfortable market for me. And finally, I became an expert in one or two strategies before I started getting more advanced. Those 4 things, if I look back in time, if all of us would do that, we would be so competitive, we would be so powerfully focused, and we would be better traders because we took the right steps to get to the higher levels of advanced proficiency. Now, if I wanted to wrap a ribbon around all of these, then the final thing I would do is to not just be committed to doing this, not just have a passion to do this, but make the decision that I am going to enjoy doing this. You have to like what you're doing. If trading is like putting bamboo shoots underneath your fingernails or sitting on a porcupine, then trading is not for you. You need to adjust something until it's not so painful. You need to decide that I am going to create, design, implement, execute trading in a way that I will enjoy it. Is it going to be difficult? Absolutely. Is it going to take time? Absolutely. Am I going to be perfect? No, we're going to have losses. But I'm going to love what I do. I'm going to feel good about what I do. I'm going to allow myself to look in the mirror and empower myself to enjoy it, follow it, and take it to the next level each and every day and week and month and year that I continue to practice and trade. So let's move forward. Let's go back in the future and refresh what we do. It's almost like a rebalancing of everything. So I can kind of go back, take all the expertise that I've learned over all these years, the good, bad, and ugly, and I'm going to put it back in, recreate myself, and start fresh again. But now I'm starting fresh with a lot of experience. And if I go at it with that direction, wow, think what can happen to you and me. Think of what Og Mandino was trying to say. Failure will never overtake me if my determination to succeed is strong enough. If you and I have a determination that is so strong that we will not let anything get in our way, then starting over fresh, reanalyzing and rebalancing is not a negative. It's a positive. I'm not going to allow anything to get in my way. I don't mind starting over, because if I start over with a fresh perspective and I put these strong rules or commitments in place, I'm going to surpass all the other people that are frustrating but are not willing to reanalyze, are not willing to refine, are not willing to take critique, are not willing to try to be better by adjusting what they're doing. See, if I'm doing the same thing each and every day and it's killing me, well, if I keep doing that same thing each and every day, it's going to continue to kill me. But if I adjust and look and learn from my wins and my losses, and I find the areas that are strong and I enhance those, and I find the areas that I'm struggling and I tweak those, how can I not become better each and every day? Because I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to adjust, but I'm keeping my core strategy right there. That's what I'm going to master and do. So take these 4 main steps plus the ribbon around it of enjoying what you're doing. Take it this week. Start over. Look at it with a whole new perspective. And I guarantee you that if you are willing to do that and do it about every 6 months and kind of start over again and make sure you're on track, you will become a better trader. You will enjoy what you're doing, and you will be able to share that with others when they talk about it, and you might be able to be the coach. You might be the one that can bring someone else out of their doldrums and become a better trader. Work on it, apply it, and I know that if that's what you want to do and you decide to do it, you will see results in your trading. Last week, I mentioned to you that I would love to hear comments, and some people were having frustration finding the blog that you can put comments in. If you have a pencil and paper, just write this down. It's tradingpostfinancial.com/MOT. That stands for Mind of a Trader. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to be able to continue to give you thoughts and ideas that can help you to become a better trader. Apply what we've talked about today over the next week, and I hope that you'll see the results that you want to see. And let's get together next time and discuss ways to become better traders on the Mind of a Trader.
This podcast was brought to you by Trading Post Financial. For more information on our company, visit us at tradingpostfinancial.com.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 866-928-3310. And we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310.
Tonight's scripture reading is found in Romans chapter 8, verse 28, and then verses 38 and 39. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. This is God's word.
We've been looking for a few weeks at Romans 6, 7, and 8, and we said that this is especially about how Jesus concretely changes your life when he comes into it. And what I wanted to do was just one last time, I wanted to look at this ending of Romans chapter 8. It's a magnificent ending, and yet its point is very simple. And in these last several verses, Paul says, here's the thing I'm giving you that will absolutely change your life through Christ. And the thing that he's giving us is an assurance. He says, this is the thing you can get out every day and use. This is the thing that'll change your life. But as he expresses the assurance, for us in our modern Western culture, a question comes up. So it's very hard for us in our modern Western culture just to receive this thing and to enjoy it and to use it unimpeded. So what we're going to do tonight is look at this assurance. Actually, first, let me read it to you. Let me read you the whole last 12 verses. Listen to what he's saying. He's really saying one thing. I'll read it in a slightly different translation. And we know that all things are working together for good for those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. For those whom he foreknew, he predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son. And those he predestined, he called. And those he called, he justified. And those he justified, he glorified. What then shall we say to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us?